Pull up a chair. This is Fluxtaposed, episode 241, recording to you live on December 11th, 2018. On the docket today, what you playing? It's going to be featuring Smash Brothers Ultimate, and probably some more Smash Brothers Ultimate. We've also got a little discussion of Fluxtaposed top 3, and we're going to close out the show with that community grab bag and the sweet, sweet, awkward finish. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the show. Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Fluxtaposed. I am Jason Lacey. I am joined by the new and improved, the surgically modified, $6 million man himself, Lucas Rose.
Hi. That's right. I am better in
cybernetic implants right now.
I am better in all ways. Yeah, I
get your rift implants now, so you can trip the rift and deck your way through
the halls.
Deck the halls this holiday.
I got my mid-rift implant.
Perfect, man. Welcome to the show. This is Fluxtaposed. Happy to have you watching. Happy to have you listening, and we're happy to have you here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink. I have high quality H2O because I'm a sad man.
I have low quality Mountain Dew because I also am a sad man.
I can feel you. I can feel your lack of gallbladder being destroyed.
Yeah, I'm going all out, dude. No, you get tired of drinking LaCroix after LaCroix after LaCroix after LaCroix. So I need something new.
Yeah, the chat's right. You need some Doritos. If you're doing the do, you need some Cool Ranch Doritos and then some collard. Oh, God, some Call Dirty. And what's that Taco Bell Doritos Locos or something?
The taco Doritos?
Yeah, you need all of that.
Oh, those taste gross. Those are they taste like pencils.
That's why you just load it up with fire sauce and you can't tell.
Give me all the sauces.
Oh, the sauces.
Oh.
Well, let's get the fact check out of the way. We have a Discord server. We'd love to have you join it. It's over at fluxtaposed.com/Discord. I'm going to do my George Lucas voice, apparently. We do have a Patreon. You can check that out, fluxtaposed.com or patreon.com/fluxtaposed. But hey, we have a AMA that we're planning for January. You can send your questions over to fluxtaposedama@gmail.com. We'll be shooting that sometime in January. Excuse me. We'll get details to you, of course.
At this rate, it's going to be a 1-minute video.
Yeah. Hey, I haven't logged in. I don't know. There's probably no questions in there.
That's probably true.
What would we do? What would we do if we go? What would you do if we go to film it? And Mike's like, guys, there aren't any questions. Like, what would we honestly do at that point?
I would release he better be recording.
Submits this. If nobody submits anything, like, do we just record a 5-minute video? Go, hey, here's your Fluxtaposed AMA.
It's just us flipping the camera off.
We didn't get any questions, so thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Right? I don't know. I guess
that's probably what we would do.
I mean, I prepare for mediocrity in my normal life, so why not my online life? I mean,
your online persona.
That's right. And guys, we're rapidly approaching 2 deadlines. We have a giveaway next week. Next week's show, we are giving away a physical game of your choice. Remember, you have to enter if you want to win. Patrons, you automatically get entered, but if you want your bonus patron entries, you gotta enter. Otherwise, the don't count.
Oh,
so we got that and the holiday mixtape. We want spread some holiday cheer. So we get you send us a message, we'll get it in the old mixtape-ola, and that we can, because guys, we have a show next week, and that'll be the last episode of the year. Is that? Am I correct? Yeah,
probably.
That'll be the last episode because we'll be doing we'll record on the 18th, and then the 25th is of course Christmas, so we won't have an episode that week, but we will release the holiday mixtape.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back New Year's Day, Tuesday the 1st, back at it. because that's what we do. Train keeps on rolling. So please, if you want to, you got to enter. If you want to win, Ribo, otherwise it's going to be rigged. And that's all I got for you. Let's get into IRL because Lucas had a big week last week, guys. And we got to hear all about it. There's a story that was teased on Discord that was good, and he had to tell it to us and give us all the details.
It's true.
Now he's going to do it.
Now you put me on the spot.
Burst.
Oh, boy. Thankfully, it wasn't. Thankfully, my appendix wasn't about to burst. Oh, I should have brought the. Dang it! I forgot my. Why don't you go first, really quick, actually, or tell one of your IRL things because I forgot my show and tell. I left it upstairs, so I'll be right back.
Well, he doesn't even want to hear. He doesn't even want to hear my IRL, guys.
I do, but this is important.
He's just leaving me down. Well, I won't tell the good one. I'll tell the stupid one. So we went to the library. We took my son to the library last week, Saturday, to kill some time. Yeah, and we went to actually, it's the library. It's actually right next, pretty close to Lucas's place, and which is a lot nicer than ours. But I'm walking around because they have a good, like a little toddler time, a little toddler area. That's good for my son to play at. But I was walking around, looking around, and they have all the computers that kids can use. And I kid you not, there were like 8 kids at the library just playing Fortnite. And I'm just like, man, people talk about the popularity of Fortnite and talk about how kids are obsessed with Fortnite, but kids are effing obsessed with Fortnite. I guess I'm just not used to seeing like a game consume people like that. Lucas, I was just saying how I was at the Wyoming library last weekend, and there were like 8 kids playing Fortnite.
I've noticed that too. Yes, they're always there, always playing. It's scary.
Yeah.
There's no parents. So. I don't know where any parents are. I think they literally just drop the kids off and then they go, go read books. And then the kids just play Fortnite.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to always seeing people play like, crappy Farmville browser type games. And then there's like some weird Minecraft knockoffs. But then, yeah, there's like legit Fortnite going on. I'm just like, what the? I don't even how would they even get that on those computers? Because you can't just like, you'd have to install it, right? Because you can't do.
I would assume.
It doesn't have a browser based mode as far as I know. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it runs on a phone. What's next?
Yeah, maybe it does.
Fortnite Chrome. I mean, Chrome had those. Bastion came out for Chrome, and it ran inside the Chrome browser.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and there's a few other games too. I don't remember now, but yeah, that was my crappy filler while we're waiting for you. Let's show and tell.
So here's the show.
Whole shebang.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to wait in the show and tell, I think. But anyways, as y'all know, I had my surgery on Friday. I did post some updates as the day went along.
Was this the cock lengthening or
no, that actually
gender reassignment?
That neither of that seems counterintuitive, I guess.
Well, you figured what was going to give you the best quality of life. You had to make a choice.
That's true. So. Well, can I just have both?
Yes.
And if I'm going to have both, I might as well have like the best of both, right? The best of both worlds.
So you like create an infinite loop?
Yeah, it's like the snake that eats its own tail.
Yes.
So anyways, so after that surgery, I also had my gallbladder out, which wasn't as important, but it had to be done. Things had to be done. And that happened Friday I got there at 7:15 on the dot. And I've never had surgery before, so this was a very kind of nerve-wracking experience. But for the most part, it went fairly well. I just signed the paperwork. I will say this. I told like 4 different people the same information 4 different times, like who my emergency contact is and like what surgery I'm having done. Obviously, they ask that because, they want to make sure you're the right person and you're the person getting the right surgery. But still, it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm already nervous. I'm bad enough when someone asks me like, what's your wife's birth date or something when I go to pick up a prescription. I'm like, 4.
Oh, that's the worst.
I don't know.
I've blanked so many times and then I'm like, yeah.
I don't know why. It's just, I get like verbal stoppages. Anyways, so they were really good to me, but for the most part, it was just kind of nerve wracking. And so the first thing they did was so I had to get undressed, right, and put on the gown, the hospital gown that they give you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I have never felt more naked while wearing clothes, because I mean, it's clothes, right? It's just this gown that's wide open in the back and your ass is hanging out. And then
business in the front, party in the back.
And then these two female nurses come in and they're like, all right, we want you to put this on. And so I put it on and they come back in and they had to do some other stuff. Like they had to put these things on my legs that squeeze them to keep me from getting cramp or blood clots during surgery.
Like
and
compression.
I'm just like, pushing my dress down because I feel so naked. It feels weird. There's like all these people in the room and you feel so naked. I didn't like it. Well, sir, I didn't like it. And so that all got underway. And then of course they gave me the IV, got my fluids going, cause they want to give you like a full IV almost before you have surgery.
Yeah, they want you hydrated. Yeah.
Especially since you're not drinking anything for 8 hours. Except that beer I had. So then next thing I know, I'm meeting the anesthesiologist and she's like, I'm going to take care of you. Everything's going to be fine. Asking me questions like, did I smoke pot recently and all this other stuff? And I'm like, no. She's like, okay, well, we're going to treat you good. So then they give me this
tomorrow.
Yeah. Then they give me this, I think it was Tramadol or something. They gave me this they gave me the anti-nausea, and then they gave me this like calming medicine. And that was like taking 4 shots at once. Cause all of a sudden she's like, okay, I'm going to give you not a sedative, but I'm going to give you the relaxant or whatever. And that kind of starts the anesthesia process, but not fully. Like that just kind of gets you calmed so that when you're going to the emergency room, the operating room, you're not like freaking out. So she gives me the syringe and it'd been like 30 seconds. And I was expecting like this immediate, change, but I was like, man, I really don't feel that different. She's like, oh, it might still be in your IV for now. It'll, come on in a few seconds. I'm like, okay. And then this guy walks in who's basically the assistant to the surgeon, who's like wheeling me in and I think just an extra pair of hands for the surgeon. Some kind of nurse. I don't remember. I don't remember anybody's name. I don't remember what anybody does. And he comes in and he starts talking and he's like, all right, my name's such and such. I'm going to be the attending nurse or whatever. I'm going to help you. I'm going to wheel you over to the ER. And he got like 3 words into a spiel. And all of a sudden I felt the medicine hit and I just get like really dizzy for a second. Not too overwhelming, but just like that
beat
feeling.
Dropped and you were ready to go.
It was, when the drugs
the bass
hit.
dropped, I should say.
Yes. Like those memes when they have that really blown out picture and it's like when the drugs hit, that's kind of what it felt like. And so he gets done with his spiel and I'm like, wait a minute, who are you? Because I forgot the first part of what everything he said because I was so focused on the drugs hitting. And he's like, you don't need to know. Never mind. So do you guys have any questions? Talking to my mom and my wife who were there. And they're just laughing because it was really hard for me to concentrate all of a sudden. Next thing you know, I'm being wheeled off to the OR. And by that point, I'm feeling real good. Like, I'm just like, okay, let's go. Probably the most like drugged out that, like how you would expect somebody to be after the dentist or something like that. Was probably during that time. And so we got wheeled into the OR. I got wheeled into the OR and they let me keep my glasses on during that time. Thank God, because it just seemed,
oh, wow.
It would seem really weird to just go somewhere I've never been with my glasses off. I can't see very well. It's all blurry. I feel like it would just be very nerve wracking. So they took my glasses off there. They were playing the Beatles in the OR. I saw it on the projector or whatever. Was the album?
Oh, are they?
Oh, are they? Oh, really? And I was like, oh, good choice. And then the anesthesiologist put the mask on my face, and I remember her saying, it was really weird. She's like, I'm going to start your anesthesia. You're going to breathe in part of it, and then we'll give the rest of it through your IV and continuously through the IV. So, I remember her saying, now this mask smells a little weird. It's kind of like a beach ball. And I was just like, I was too high to really say anything, but I'm just kind of like, that's a really weird thing to say. Like, smells just like a beach ball. It did. She wasn't wrong, I guess, but it was very plasticky. So I remember that. And then next thing, boom, I'm out. I'm in the dark spot or the upside down or something. Literally, you read people talking about like the experience of anesthesia, but it really is, you're just out all of a sudden. I didn't even feel it happening. And I think part of it's because they do it in steps like that. So you're kind of already not thinking about what if I somehow my body fights it or whatever. You're just like, okay, cool, let's do it. So I went under anesthesia, and the next thing I knew, I woke up in recovery. Like really, it really was. I do remember having a dream or something. So I definitely was like, went straight into
I was told I
REM.
was in your dream.
I think so. I remember more than I thought I would, because I do remember thinking that I had a dream and you were in it, or it was about like our Discord channel or something. It was something nerdy. I just don't remember what it was.
I gotta tell the guys on the Discord.
Yeah, basically. But I can't tell you what it was about or anything. And then I woke up and see, this is the bummer. I woke up and I was in the recovery room, and that's not my regular room. So there wasn't anyone there to really see me being all goofed out or anything after waking up directly. So I sat there, and pretty quickly the pain started to set in, and I was like, oh man, this kind of hurts. And she's like, well, I can give you pain medication through your IV, but then you have to stay here for a little bit longer in the recovery area and not go back to the room, or you can just take your pain med that you'll be prescribed there. And I was like, well, I didn't want to sit there any longer, because I had been out. I actually slept after the surgery for probably an hour, I guess, or 45 minutes. So I was like, I don't want to wait any longer. So I said, I'll just wait until I get back to the room. She says, okay. Like literally the next thing was like, so what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? I was like, what? I get to eat? Because for some reason I just thought I'd have to take it easy. You know, even though they didn't like operate on my stomach or anything.
No, it's like a new car. You got to take that baby for a test drive.
Yeah, apparently. She was like, we've got cookies, we've got pudding, we've got graham crackers, we've got this and that. And I was like, I want a cookie. And she's like, okay, we can get you a cookie. They're pretty good. Now, what sucked is that I didn't get a cookie. They gave me graham crackers and pudding first.
The cookie was a lie.
The cookie was a lie, because she was like,
right there.
She was like, I want to make sure that you can, you know, start with a graham cracker first, and then this pudding, and then we'll see if you can do a cookie, which was forgotten, unfortunately, and I never did get that cookie. So that's the real tragedy of all of this.
You're gonna want that cookie.
Pretty much. And so that was pretty much my, you know, I was like, oh my God, this graham cracker is amazing, because I hadn't eaten in so long. So I was hungry. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, the hospital experience was okay, but getting the recovery nurse was different. The person who was in my room, I did not like her very much. She was kind of, I don't know, she was weird. There was one time I thought for sure she was going to see my penis. Because
what?
Because what happened was I started to ooze out of my wounds, because they have like it's like, it's not blood necessarily. It's kind of like
I was
fluid.
starting to ooze, so then she was going to see my penis.
Yes, exactly.
So weird. Just you know.
So I noticed like my gown was wet, and she was like, oh, we'll get you changed under the blanket. And I'm like, what? Please no. But I was, you know, out or not with it. So she's like, oh, it'll be fine. So like I put the top on, and we get the bottom up and out. And I don't know, she was doing it so fast, and she started like messing, or she was putting on gauze. That's what it was. So she pulls my gown down, and I'm like, and she's pushing it down to my belly button, but like my little guy is up instead of down for some reason. And I'm like, you're going to see my Johnson. in my mind, but I'm not saying anything because my wife and my mom are sitting there, but I'm just like, please stop. Thankfully, I don't think she did. I don't know.
Sir,
She might have gotten a piece.
Why is your penis tucked into your waistband?
Exactly. Except for there was no waistband. It was a very loose dress. So here was my show and tell, because I said, well, am I going to see what I paid for? You know, am I going to get to see like what was going on? And I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, so I'll send it to you later. But I have like 3 pictures of my the lights.
Oh man,
the light's blowing it out. There it goes. Of my so that's my gallbladder right there. That little hangy do. I don't think there's actually any pictures of gallstones that I could see, but he's like cutting it out, and I think that's when he first. Or no, maybe that is cut right there. So, but yeah, it didn't look as bad as I thought.
Top. It looks like a messy lasagna in there.
It does. It is very xenomorphic. Very except not gray. But I was expecting this like black, withered, disgusting, necrofied flesh. But no such luck, I guess. So the prognosis was that, or the diagnosis, I guess.
Prognosis negative.
I had stones caught in my duct, which I think was the biggest problem. I think what it was just I was getting gallstones. They were moving into my ducts and getting caught there. So every time I had an attack, it was because I had gallstones and bile backing up and causing back pressure. Because he said that for the most part it looked okay, but my duct was actually enlarged, which usually is to accommodate the flow of those larger stones. So my gallbladder wasn't like I said, it hadn't turned gangrenous or anything, so it wasn't like dying off or anything like that. So yeah, now I won't have to worry about gallstones. And as far as the recovery process goes, it's been getting better every day, but the first day was awful because they blow you up with gas to separate your organs so that it's easier to move around in there. And they use CO2, and then when they're done, they try to pump out as much as they can. But apparently they didn't do a very good job because, man, I would go to like lay back or lay down, and I was walking around. They had said, you might want to walk around to relieve some of that gas pain and get things kind of flowing again. But dude, this was some of the worst pain I've ever felt. We actually had to call the number that they didn't give us. We had to call the hospital and say, hey, they told us about a number we could call 24/7 for an on-call nurse, but they never gave us the number. So we finally got there through jumping through a bunch of hoops because this pain was like bringing me to tears. It felt like I was being stabbed in the right shoulder. And I knew it was gas pain because it kept like it would come back and like move from shoulder to shoulder and do all sorts of weird stuff. So as long as I sat up, I would be okay. But if I tried to lay down, about halfway through, immediate pain, and it would last for quite a while. And I was like, I need another pain med. I need another pain med. It hurts. And then that's like, well, that's not going to do anything. And it didn't. Like, I didn't take another one, but it wasn't touching it at all. Like my incisions and stuff didn't hurt it really at all. It was this gas pain. So it turned out what I needed to do was, once I finally got situated and flat, I was able to finally like get that gas out of there and it stopped being trapped in my shoulder. But it was some of the worst because it was like nerve pain because it kind of activates on your nerves. So once I finally laid down, it started to alleviate slowly. And, over the course of some days, I would, lay down in a certain, like on my left side, and the gas would kind of flow through a little bit by little bit. And eventually it's pretty much gone now, except for every once in a while I get little like pinchies here and there, but not nearly as bad. But I'll tell you, they did not warn me of this. They said, oh yeah, you might have some pain in your your shoulder, but they never said it's going to be excruciatingly bad. So maybe I'm just a big wussy. I don't know.
Right? Yeah, you are. So did they basically just hook up a bicycle pump to your sphincter and like?
Yeah. Yes, and they had to like keep me weighed down with like bricks or something, like little novelty Acme anvils or something. So, yeah, it definitely was an interesting experience. Clearly, I'm doing okay now. I'm a little sore still, but for the most part, it's just my incisions that hurt. And I took off the.
So if it's not the controller that screws you up in Smash, it's the gas pain, you guys.
Oh yeah.
It still hurts.
I'm not at 100% yet, so I'm I still got some recovery. So yeah, it was. I will say for anybody who's never had anesthesia and is worried about it, it was not as bad as I thought. They do a really good job of because I was more worried about that than I was the surgery, but they do a really good job of just kind of easing you into that process. So
I can see that.
Overall, it wasn't fun, but
you get the pro tip.
Yeah, see the pro tip.
Sphincter.
Yeah, that I should have. See, I would have thought they would have given me one at the hospital, but apparently you got to get your own straw.
It's kind of like a catheter, but for your bum.
I like it. Next time I'll have to do that. I'll have to massage the bum hole.
I have two other things then I want to touch on. And the first one, I wish I could demonstrate it, but I don't have a way to stream. I don't have any software on my PC that I can stream my phone onto the screen. But I guarantee if you Google this, it'll probably come up. And as far as I know, this only works on iOS devices. It doesn't work on Android.
Okay.
But let's say you just type a bunch of jargon. And so I have an entire sentence of crap. And I was like, let's say you type a bunch of words and you missed, you autocorrect that one letter. You're just like, damn it, that one letter. And you're like, so you got to delete everything else to get to it. Or you can try to like do that little magnifying glass thing to get to the right spot. Yeah. It's never good. But if you're using on the actual Apple, the iOS keyboard, if you hold down spacebar, like you long tap on spacebar, and then you can literally just slide your thumb across the screen, and it lets you move the cursor. And place it wherever you want it. No idea. I was going to talk about this last week. There's no idea it was a thing. My wife found it out a couple weeks ago. Mind blown. It'll change your life. It'll change your mobile usage. Works on Discord. It works on any app. Works on a browser. Anything you're doing on the phone. It's amazing. So cool. And then lastly, so we shop at grocery shop at a couple places, but we shop at Aldi for most of our stuff. And we're like kind of organizing my son's stuff, and we moved some things around Sunday, and we wanted to get some bins. Like some storage bins, almost like, and my shelf has those weird fabric bins. Like you can see one in this top corner there. It's like one of those fabric bins that you can pull it out. We want to get something like that to put in his play kitchen to hold some of his toys. So we're at Aldi looking around for stuff, and like sure enough, there are a couple there. We're like, sweet, okay. So we grab some, and we as a quick aside, when we got there, because Aldi you have to put a quarter in your cart to get it. And you have to put it back, and you get your quarter back. That's how that's how they get you, and how they don't have to pay people to bring carts around. When we got there, someone had already had their cart, and they just gave it to my wife. They're like, "Oh, I don't need the quarter," so we got our cart for free.
That happens a lot.
It does happen a lot. People paying it forward. So I had that in my mind as we're going through the store, and we found those little fabric containers. Like, oh, great! So we go to check out, and we go through, and first our clerk thought like only half the order was, and she like. Pretty sure she only rang up one of those bins. But then we got it all sorted out, rang up all our stuff, puts the bins in our car, and we go bag up our groceries, go back out to the store, go out to the store. I load, Jess gets Aiden in the car. I put all the groceries and everything in the back of the car. I'm going, pushing my cart up, and I go up. I pick the one side, there's no carts. So mine's the first cart to go in there. And I'm like, you know what? Someone gave us this cart for free. I'm not going to hook this up. I'm just going to leave it there.
I do the same thing. I'm just like, well, I got it for free. I don't need the bad karma. I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah. And sometimes I go, free quarter for me, and I put it in my pocket.
You horrible person.
I know. So this time, though, as I walk away, this woman's like, sir. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, that was there. Someone left it for us. I'm just going to leave it for the next person. She's like, you don't want it? And I was like, nope. And I walked back to the car, and so I'm like, just like Jess, this woman was asking me about the card. I was like, no. And then she's like, you don't want it? I'm like, she's going to come up and take that quarter.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. She's going to
that quarter
repark
that
it.
bad. I was like, what? I can't believe this. So we get home, unload the groceries, make Aiden lunch. And then I'm like, she's like, hey, where are the bins? I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, on the bins. I was like,
no.
Like, did you put them in the cart? I was like, no, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember them being in the cart. I was like, that cashier, she never put them in there. What the hell? And Jess like, well, did we pay for it? I'm like, yeah, we only paid for one, but she didn't put them in the cart. This is unbelievable.
Which, if you've been to Aldi, that's almost impossible that they wouldn't put it in the.
We keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about it. She's like, well, did you remember putting them in the cart? And I was like, no, I didn't put them in. I was like, wait a second. When that woman was like, don't you want them, sir? That meant because those bins were on the bottom of the shopping cart. So that woman was trying to tell me that I left stuff in the cart.
You cut her off. No. You said,
like,
no.
Nope.
Don't talk to me.
Quarter. I don't want the quarter. So I was dumb and gave away. So Jess like, you made her day. You gave her some $2.99 bins.
She's like, that idiot.
Yeah. That was my dumb moment. And I thought she just wanted to steal my quarter.
Do you bag your groceries in the store?
Yeah.
Oh, but you put them in the below part where you normally put the drinks.
Well,
and
no,
stuff.
she had when she rang us up, I think she had just
put them in there. Okay.
Because
not completely your fault then, because I rarely put anything down there because I always forget it.
Like toilet paper maybe or LaCroix.
Yeah, sometimes the LaCroix, beer. Something beer maybe. I won't forget the beer, but those bins, just they're light. Chuck them on top. They don't care. I've had to give them back so many yogurt.
Here's your eggs.
Things. Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, I've had 2 in one cart load where they just took the individual yogurts and they're like, fling, 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 flinging them in the cart, and I look at them and get yogurt all over my hands.
I'm a dummy. That's what it is.
It's not all your fault though.
Don't humor me.
I won't. It's all your fault.
All right.
You loser.
It's all my fault. Shall we do the main event?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's complain about people being
all right,
nice
guys.
To us.
That's what you came up here for. Top 3 Fluxtaposed. Top 3.
Top 3.
Worst Christmas gifts. This was a suggestion from Mr. Kevin Austin a long time ago. Short disclaimer. It sounds entitled and like really chody to be complaining about gifts that were given to you. So this isn't, first of all, this isn't jest. You know, we are making fun here. You know, I'm
an asshole. I don't care.
I think yours is justified. So our top 3 worst Christmas gifts. Lucas. Yeah. This was actually a recent gift. My dad got it. He got like all of us, by all of us, I mean myself and my 2 brothers, like these weird, like as a stocking stuffer, these RC helicopters, which seem really cool in theory. You know, they come in this little box. Little RC, and I was like, oh, cool. Like my brothers actually had a remote, and so you could actually control it, and it was fun to like try to fly around the living room. Mine was controlled by your phone, so you had to download. I think I
remember you talking about this last year on the podcast.
You had to download this app, and it was just like there was a extreme bit of lag from when you did something on the controls to when the actual copter would receive it. So it'd be like trying to play Smash with like input delay of like 3 seconds. You know, so you're constantly overcorrecting. So you're constantly overcorrecting. And so basically, you would just repeatedly like smash it into the ceiling, and then parts of it
unflyable.
Broke off, and then it just sat down here in the basement for a while, and then I threw it away. But it was really cool because I was like, "Oh, sweet helicopter!" But what would happen is you would either lose control when it would fly too high, where it would lose signal.
You fly too high.
Meteor smash into the ground, or then you just be constantly overcorrecting it and trying to, and you couldn't really get it to hover. You'd have to constantly be fluctating between your pitch and your yaw, and you couldn't quite. You
should have bought a flight stick for it hooked in your phone.
I need a HOTAS.
A HOTAS.
And then I could have taken care of it, but
that's one of those things.
Didn't get the job done.
That's one of those things where I think it'd be fun to play with, but I would never like buy for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really hope you only spent like $15 on it. I really do.
Yeah, especially since it ended up it was probably like super expensive. If it didn't come with a remote, there's no way it was that expensive.
That's probably true.
I would hope that would be the whole point of not having a remote. I would hope. Now mine are definitely numbered. My days are numbered, but also my list is numbered. I'll start with number 3 because sort of like your RC copter, it's not really that bad, but it's not something I
remember this gift.
really wanted. So I unwrapped this thing, and it's a cardboard box. It's very light, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Google Cardboard?
I'm close. I look close. I look at it, and it says cell phone projector, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like a little mini, probably not HD, but maybe like 720p mini projector that you hook into your phone, maybe via USB or something, and it projects what's on your phone. No, foolish thought. No, that's not what it is at all. It's a box. It's a box that you...
What's in the box?
You put a lens in there, and somehow through the magical power of your phone being super bright, it magnifies the light through this plastic lens.
So like mirrors your screen onto the...
Yeah, and throws it up onto the wall, I guess. I'll tell you one thing. I don't know because I never put it together. It sat in the basement for forever, and then I just threw it away because it's not even powered. There's no way in hell that thing gets bright enough to even tell what you're doing. You know what? If I want to watch something on my phone, like say it's on Netflix or something on my phone, and I'm going to go through the trouble of having this stupid-ass projector, I'll just watch it on my television, which probably is larger than what that projector is able to cast anyways because it was... there was no power to it. What is this? This is like those dumb gifts you see at like the Sharper Image or something. Do you have a tech friend? Get him this little neat gadget, Put together your own projector. They'll be entertained.
Help you hook it up.
Exactly.
That's my favorite line.
They'll be entertained for 0.2 seconds and immediately hate the fact that they had to put this gift together. Cool. It was like the Nintendo Labo of a projector. Oh, except for Nintendo Labo works for its purpose. This probably didn't.
Does it?
I don't know. I wasn't dumb enough to buy cardboard. So, if I want cardboard, I'll just order things off Amazon. Apparently, because I have a whole freaking forest growing.
Really
back
missed
here.
Opportunity to have a partnership there.
A partnership.
My number 2. This game has come up on this podcast before. Spoiler: it's a game.
You said number 2.
And this could have been a birthday gift, but I can't remember it because it was so long ago. I'm just going to assume it was for a Christmas gift, and it more likely was. And this was a game I was given. It was made by CSG ImageSoft Incorporated. It was on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and this is definitely back in the day when parents would pick you out. Someone was like, "Well, that looks like it's got a sweet cover. I guess he'd like that game."
Hell yeah, dude! That went on until the Super Nintendo era.
We're going to buy it for him. And that game is called Solstice, the quest for the Staff of Demons on the Nintendo Entertainment System. It's got like this badass looking sorcerer dude with this rippled chest all exposed. He's got a staff and this potion, and he's got these weird Aladdin pants. And he's all like...
Yeah, and his hair is like coming out like electricity.
Yeah, he's got like a crazy beard. He's like, I'm ready. And this game was just impossibly hard. Just like unforgiving hard. And it's just like one of those things as a kid. I think we all had games like that as kids, and where you're like, well, the cover looks cool, and you try to play it, and you're just like,
Mega Man. Mega Man never looked like the cover.
Mega Man was fun though.
That's true.
Game wasn't fun at all.
That's true. They tricked you with this awesome art. Well, they tricked your parents apparently.
Yeah.
Did they help you hook it up?
Bless my dad for trying.
I don't know.
That was like,
this guy looks cool.
It was a game. That was like the game I can never make it past the first level. You like there's this. I don't even know you make it past the first room. It was just. I guess I should try to like find it on an emulator now. See if I can even like. If it's any easier.
Just wait 3 years.
Most of those games are just as hard as I remember.
Just wait 3 years and it'll be on the NES
Nintendo Switch Online
service.
Oh God, I mean it is about the same caliber as some of those games that have came out, like Solomon's Key or whatever that.
Adventures of Lolo. Adventures of Lolo at least is playable. This I can understand because
that's you're saying it wrong. It's Adventures of Lolo.
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 I would boot this up and I would be like, what the hell am I looking at? Because it's isometric. The art is very plain. Like you have these interesting looking rooms, but in them are like nothing. It's almost
so I hate it. It's like isometric view, right?
Yeah.
So I feel bad, like, you know, poo-pooing on a gift, especially when it's a game. But my dad's gotten me a lot better games than that. Runner-up would be when I got Ren and Stimpy's Invention for the Sega Genesis, when I already had it.
Game's a game. How many games do you need? Jeez, you got 5 of them. Aren't they all the same?
Yeah. I had to really dig. I'll be honest. I had to really dig to get 3 top. When I started making this list, I knew I had my number 1. I always knew what that was going to be. I had to really dig for 2 others. Great.
I know what the number 1 is, and I can't wait to hear the story behind it because it seems impossible. So my number 2. This one's a little weird. It's not so much what the gift is itself, because it's not actually that bad. But the problem is I know how it was obtained, and I also have no interest in what what it's about, and that's the subject matter. Yes, thank you. So we have a local baseball team here in Grand Rapids called the Whitecaps. They
are minor league AAA ball.
Yes,
for those that are.
I have no interest in baseball whatsoever. I have never shown interest in baseball. I have only ever said that I would watch baseball if somebody gave me tickets for free. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll go to that. I'll have some beer and some hot dogs, and then talk to everybody around me instead of.
I want me one of them Fifth Third ballpark burgers.
That God, yes,
4,000 calories.
Has everything on it that they serve at the stadium. So this was a bobblehead that you got for free, just for showing up. You know, first 1,000 people get this bobblehead. And it wasn't just this little plastic one. It was this it was like made out of hodgepodge or something. I don't know. It wasn't plastic. It was weirdly tall for being a bobblehead. And it was kind of realistic looking. I had no idea who the player was. It wasn't even a current player on the team. Because at least the Griffins, when they do this stuff like this, they'll do either ones that you've heard of on the major league, like the Red Wings, or somebody who's, you know, been on the Griffins for a while and are doing really well. Yeah. So they got it for free. This was from my mother-in-law. All of these, I forgot to even mention, these have all been from my mother-in-law. So she got it for free.
True gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, exactly. She gives it to me. And I'm just like, I don't even remember. I opened it, and I know my wife knows me well enough to know that I don't give a shit about baseball. So I can't even imagine what went through her head when I opened that. I was just like, oh, it's a bobblehead. And I see the guy is playing. He's got a baseball bat there, you know, because I'm just like, I don't. So it turns out I was telling the story of this to a guy who used to work at the games doing security and stuff. But he also worked at the Van Andel, which is our local arena for the Griffins and a lot of musical acts and stuff like that. I had said, you know, it was this so-and-so player that she got for me, and I don't even care about baseball. And he knew who it was. He was like, oh, yeah, that's so-and-so. They used to play for this team and blah, blah, blah. And he was a pitcher or something. And I'm like, do you want it? Because it literally means nothing to me.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, well, I'll tell you what. I'll get you some tickets to the Griffins, and you can trade me the bobblehead. And I said, dude, that's perfect. Give me 2 tickets.
Dude, that's a great trade.
It was even better because they were winning Wednesday tickets. So every time we won, we got free tickets to the next Wednesday game, which were also winning Wednesday tickets. I got 4 free games out of that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
That was way better.
So
your number it almost tops your number 1.
Well,
almost tops your number 1.
Only in the sense that this ended up having a positive ending. Number 1 is I mean, we both have pretty close to the same levels of like what was this person thinking when they gave it to me.
Yeah.
I need to know about your number one, Jason.
Oh, I will. But first,
the
community
gave
us some answers.
I gotta say,
starting right off.
Hold on, before we get to the community. Speaking of the community, I just want to say, I find it a little funny that the person who gave this as an idea,
this topic, couldn't even be bothered. Yeah,
Kevin.
You ever got the feeling now he just doesn't have the time for us anymore? You know, he's like, I'm at PSVG. We're running our own Patreon campaign, and I don't have time to support these small-time gigs like Fluxtaposed.
Yeah, he just gives us the ideas that nobody agreed to do on.
Yeah, because he knows that crap doesn't fly on his shows.
Yeah,
so like,
nobody listens to him.
Half-bit idea, give it a Fluxtaposed. They don't have anything good to, you know. They can't create their own content.
They just ask the community to create the content for them.
What a jerk. So we did get a couple of responses from you guys. We're going to share on the show. Starting off with Mr. Josh Bones. Well, the first one is easy. Under 30 years old, socks.
Never understood that. Don't give me something I need. The rest of the year
socks every
is
year,
for stuff
but
I need.
I like my I like my fancy socks though.
Well, and you also work in a place where it seems like you might need some kind of socks, like dress socks or fancy socks.
True. It's true. That's where I get a lot of my clothing items year after year is at Christmas. Let's add a slinky to that list.
I don't understand that at all. It better have been metal though, not plastic. None of that
probably
plastic
that plastic, that
the rainbow one.
That don't work. Yeah, that don't work.
No, thank you.
And last but certainly not least, remember that Christmas that you got New Kids on the Block CD? Well, I do.
Was that last Christmas? It was their comeback tour. Yeah. Josh, I don't know you well enough to know if you like New Kids on the Block, but something has to tell me that somebody just said, I don't know, they're popular, so just give him the New Kids on the Block CD. He'll like it. Or tape, I guess. Not even a... wait a minute. Right. Wait a minute. Shouldn't have been a tape and not a CD? Are you a time traveler? What's going on here?
It must have been really recent then.
It was last year.
Or he could have just,
mini disc
and type CD. I don't know.
That could be. I think he revealed things about himself that we need to know. We need to dig further into. Too bad he's too busy bored with video games right now.
That's right.
Remember when he used to listen to our show? Anyways.
Yeah, I know.
Tom Servo today, he told me at 3:02 p.m. Were they? At 3:02 p.m. He said, it's hard for me to remember bad gifts, and then he listed like 10 of them. Grandma gave me a box of Cheez-Its wrapped in wrapping paper and everything. I find that food is a gift that isn't just like one of those not novelty, but like gift baskets or here's a cheese plate or whatever. That's weird.
I had a girlfriend give me a case of Mountain Dew one time, a 12-pack of Mountain Dew as a gift.
Oh my gosh.
We broke up.
I don't even like Mountain Dew. And I don't like you. Goodbye.
No.
Grandma gave me... I'm sensing a theme with this here. Grandma gave me men are from Mars, women are from Venus. I was probably 10 years old. I'd like to think it was her copy, and like her cliff notes are in the book. Like every chapter, there's highlighted sections and such. And then Mom gave me a vest jacket thing. I can't describe it, but it's awful.
Awful.
He has said that there will be, if he can find it, there will be him. He will take a picture in it, which I thought he meant if he can find a picture of himself. But apparently he still owns the garment.
That's for the Fluxtaposed calendar. Lucas has to wear his collar shirt.
Yes. Send it in. Send it in jacket. And we'll wear it on the calendar.
Oh, our last one comes from Carol. I don't know if she just didn't.
This is more of a story.
It's more of a story, and it's a gift. It's not technically a Christmas gift, but we'll go with it.
Yes.
One time, this girl I went to school with had me over to her house after school. We were probably in first grade. She had an electronic keyboard and took piano lessons. I did as well. She played some, and then I played some after her.
It was a glorious.
She was jealous that I was better and stormed off to her room and locked me out. I knocked until she let me in, and then she threw this soft foam ball at me in anger. I just sat there quietly trying to figure out WTF was going on. Then she apologized and said, you can keep the ball.
You can keep the ball.
The ball was the gift all along.
Wow. At least it was a softball and not like a.
I think you mean wow.
Wow. I think you learned something that day.
I did. I learned something valuable just by reading that. Are you ready for the number one?
Number one.
So one year for Christmas, my mother asked me if I had, because my parents always every year like, what do you want for Christmas? And as you're younger, you're like, oh, I want to. And now I'm just
This
like,
was before Amazon lists where you could just show pictures of what you wanted.
This is before Amazon was a thing. Yeah. And I, even now I'm still like, there's not really anything I don't need stuff really. So I don't hardly ever ask if anything, and people still manage to come up with stuff because they have to give you a gift. So my mom had asked, and I had given her ideas like these are, and they were practical things. I was like, I need this summer. I needed this for work.
Car insurance.
I could need this. I gave her like a bunch of solid, good ideas. I think if I remember right, I think she actually asked Jess as well.
Oh, so this was okay. So this was.
Yeah,
not that far. Okay.
We were dating. We weren't, weren't married, but we were still, because we've known each other.
You weren't a kid
years.
though.
Yeah, and Jess gave her ideas too, and she's like, "Yeah, and literally you go to my mom's, because we always had to make multiple stops. I can't remember. Like, part of me thinks maybe I got one of my Seinfeld DVDs as well that year, but I don't think I did. I literally think this was the only thing. I go there, and I think it was wrapped, and I opened it up, and it was a Swiffer wet jet, and some extra of the jet refills. So the Swiffer wet jet was the one that takes like 8 AA batteries, and it's got a little button, and it's like, and it shoots out this little liquid that then you can Swiffer up. So it was to clean my apartment, I guess. You got a mop. I got a mop.
And I will say, those Swiffers kind of suck if you actually need it to do anything besides
we still
the
had
lightest
it.
of.
We still had it until recently. We're like, this thing is a piece of crap. Why do we still have it? We threw it away.
They always get bent, I feel like, especially if you buy the off-brand, because you try to scrub something.
One thing is I just don't get is why she asked what I needed. I provided it, and then my girlfriend even gave her ideas, and then I got a Swiffer. So it's like, I must have pissed my mom off that year, and just because my mom sometimes gets passive aggressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like a passive aggressive move somehow.
I could have made her mad, because apparently I made her mad. Was it last year or 2 years ago on Christmas? I don't know.
You should have kept it and then re-gifted it to her the next year, and just been like, I think you need this more than I do. I got that life.
I ever told you about the Yule log I got from a white elephant?
Well, at least it's a white elephant. I mean, I guess it's expected that.
Yeah.
What do you do with a Yule log? What if you don't have a place to burn that?
This is one like you can't even burn it. This is like an artificial one. You like plug it in, and it makes like a crackling sound, and it's got light, so it's supposed to sound like it's burning.
It sparks and is a fire hazard.
It has like those old one of those old, like all the toys from the early 80s, 90s that had made sparks. It has one of those
like wheels, the wheel thing.
Yeah.
And it like sparks.
Little grinder. It's like
horrible.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
That's my number one, the Swiffer.
Wow. Well, I mean, you said practical. That's the only way. That's the only thing I can imagine she said was, "You said practical. Who doesn't need a mop?"
Yeah.
Right. All right. So last year, my mother-in-law decided that we were going to make gifts. A month before Christmas, she decided that we're not going to buy things.
Let's celebrate the meaning.
The meaning of Christmas. We're not going to go out to stores and buy things. We're going to make each other stuff, because as everyone knows, our family is a family of craftsmen and craftswomen who have created things since the beginning of our family's days. We are well renowned for our craftsmanship. So, of course, what I'm getting at is that none of us have ever crafted anything by hand.
You're not makers.
Yes. My wife had just attempted sewing the year before. That's about as close as it gets.
It did not go well.
It didn't. And so far still hasn't. She still hasn't used that damn sewing machine I got her. So I left it up to my wife to figure out what we were doing. I think it ended up being like a picture frame that you put together yourself or something. I don't remember. And what I got in return was probably the most insulting thing I've ever been given in my life, because what I received in return was straight up garbage. It literally was garbage. I got what are called fire starters, because because
I remember this.
Because Jason, we have a fire pit, and obviously we need fire starters. How else do you make a fire? So what you gotta do is you take cardboard paper, toilet paper rolls. It's garbage. And then
I think if you guys go back to the episode of Fluxtaposed, those might have actually appeared on the episode.
You mean as that we had talked about them this time last year, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think you might have showed them on the show.
I had a whole bag of them.
Yeah.
You take the cardboard roll and you stuff in your laundry lint, the lint that you get out of your trap. Do that about 60 times, fill up a gallon bag, and then give it to your loved one.
Oh my God.
I made this by hand. It took me a month. Yeah, because you had to collect garbage for a month. You know what I did with them? I threw them away. I didn't keep them.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to keep garbage in my... Well, I mean, I'm not going to purposefully bring more garbage than what I put in my own house. I don't need your garbage. I hate to be that way, but it wasn't very thoughtful. I was just going to say, well, it was it's the thought that counts. I don't think there was any thought put into this. I'm sure she thought she was being nice. I feel bad.
Yeah. You just spit in her face. Theoretically.
No, I did. Yeah. Theoretically and opposite of theoretical.
Yeah.
Actual.
Okay. So there it is.
So garbage.
Top three worst Christmas gifts. Swiffer and garbage. Wicked awesome. Garbage. Huh. Boston. What, Kevin? What? So there you go. Thank you, Josh, for hitting us up on Twitter right away with the response. And thank you, Caro and Tom Servo, after Lucas berated our Discord.
I had to use the @here tag.
Yeah, we did the dreaded @here tag notification.
You know what?
You know me, I hate using the everyone tag.
Someone has been using the @here tag. I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna say where, but somebody's been doing it, and I had to mute the entire Discord channel due to that.
First thing I do in every server I join is there's an option that says suppress here and everyone, and I do it every time.
Suppressive fire.
I stuff lint into paper towel rolls to blow my pot smoke into.
Hell yeah, they have a name for that. I can't remember what it's called though.
That's smart.
Yeah. Well, you got to put the lint, or you put the unused what you put in the dryer sheets. You put them in there. You shove it in there. Paper towel roll.
Man, you're just getting all ready for.
Then you smoke. Then you can smoke in your dorm, and nobody knows.
Well, on that note, let's play an Overclocked remix.
Okay. Great. Remember when we said we were gonna pluck from the list by hand, and then we said, no, that would be dumb.
Yeah, we never do that. I like the random much better.
Well, good, because you're gonna get it.
Because I always would pick the same games every time. Like, oh, there's a Zelda remix. Oh, there's Mario remix.
Mario.
Oh, yeah. So it would just be the same. So for those uninitiated, we always like to take a little break in the show. We play a remix from Overclocked Remix, ocremix.org. It's a great little site. You should check it out. Tell them Fluxtaposed sent you, and nobody will know what you're talking about. Maybe Larry OG if he has her memory. I don't know. But we like to randomly select one of the most recent entries from the front page. And Lucas will do that for us.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't think we've played. Okay, there's something. Was it that Hometown Hero thing? Something came up. There's a lot of JRPGs I'm noticing or something.
Yeah, that new album just dropped, okay. Hometown Heroes.
It's Seiken Densetsu 3, The Dragon Emperor is calling. And I was going to say something, but then I looked at the list and I said, oh, there's like Seiken Densetsu 3 all over this thing, so the likelihood of getting one is pretty high.
Wow, we've played 2 remixes from Seiken Densetsu.
Hopefully not this one. That would be.
I don't think so. What's the name of it?
The Dragon Emperor is calling.
We have not, so we're good.
Good. Can't wait for this one.
I hope it's 10 minutes long and ballady.
I bet it's orchestral and gonna put us to sleep most likely.
So our remix, as Lucas mentioned, is Second 3. The Dragon Emperor's Calling. It's by Rexy. The game Second 3 was released by Square on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System in 1995. We have
Your parents
a few
help
songs.
you hook it up.
They do help you hook it up. And we have an additional game, Secret of Mana, is in this mix as well.
What?
It is cinematic. It is classical. It's piano. It's energetic. It's suspenseful. It's all these things. And it's 5 minutes long.
My God.
So
what did you do, randomizer?
If it's not good, we'll play the abridged version. So we're going to play this
As
remix.
we do.
If it's downloaded. I don't know if it is.
You got to stretch for time.
Oh, God.
It's 5 minutes, which means it's 10 megabytes, which means.
No wonder you have laggy Smash Bros. You have baby internet.
I ain't got baby internet. You got baby internet. Don't talk about my internet.
Don't forget about Google Gaga. I'm the. I don't. What was that? That was.
Forget about it. Google Gaga, I'm a baby.
Yes.
I don't remember what the Goo Goo Gaga thing's from, though. It's from a show. I don't remember.
Probably Roger Rabbit.
No. That's one of these days you're gonna die laughing.
That's also from Roger Rabbit. Good call.
Roger Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit. So yeah, we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this remix someday. You know, you guys, and
I got it.
He's got it. So thank you.
It's going. Everyone, go grab your dryers, your dryer sheets, your cardboard rolls, and your lint, and smoke a doob. That's what the kids say, right?
Yeah, they talk just like that when they're playing Fortnite.
Pot it down.
Playing Fortnite.
Yes, it's true. And eating Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Play this remix. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Stick around.
That was it. I
Wait,
sure looked at the time. Oh,
You
when
got
you look
Whopper.
at the time,
you got a Whopper in your mouth. Now we're both eating. This is a great show.
just to be just to be clear, it is an actual Whopper. He's not talking about a large sausage that is connected to a man in the torso region. Although that would be to be expected.
You kids watching home got a real treat because Lucas forgot to close the curtain, so you got to see right behind.
Yeah, if you ever wondered,
Giggle like schoolgirls and then run away.
if you ever wondered if the set was real, well, it is because it's right back there. Spared no expense.
That's right. No expenses spared. Well, shall we do some? What's your plan? Finish things off.
It was like we were outside the club, pockets full of bub.
Right.
Gonna grab
Lucas,
some grub.
I'll do my two things.
Cool.
Then you can do
then
your
I can
things,
eat my,
and then we'll reconvene on all the things.
my Malteser.
Yeah, do that. I finally read Lumberjanes Volume 3 and 4, which I've had for like forever. Yeah, still good. I don't know. I've already talked about Lumberjanes enough, so I still enjoy the storyline. So I recommend it to people. If you want to read it, you can do that. And we started watching. We actually started this a while ago, but finally finished it. It was a show on. I can't remember which network aired it. It was a limited series called The Clinton Tapes, and it's all about the whole sex scandal, the whole Monica Lewinsky thing that took place during the Clinton administration. Which, I was early teens when that happened, mid-teens, so didn't quite grasp the full scope of everything that took place or all the details of what happened. And not just with the Monica Lewinsky thing, but the Paula Jones scandal, and then there were other women that had come forward too that alleged things against them too, and you're just like, holy crap, So really wild story. The fact that this is, I don't know, it's funny, how the whole impeachment thing came up and how people were so up in arms then about things, and then what we see a president do now. And I don't want to go down politics too much, but
I do.
Really interesting.
Let's go.
Really interesting. So, and really, like, we watched some random movie was it on Netflix or was it on Hulu?
I hope you didn't pick it.
HBO. No, I'm not allowed to pick anymore. I don't know. It had Demi Moore in it. I couldn't remember the last time I seen a movie with her. So it was
must have been 90s then.
I can't remember what it was called, but she's a writer, and her son dies. So then she goes to somewhere in Ireland to finish her novel, and then
as you do,
supernatural spookiness that takes place. And that's my what you're playing this week. It's all.
Oh dang it! I thought you were gonna talk. I was trying to look it up because it sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It had an interesting twist, but it wasn't bad.
It wasn't Ireland at all. She never left. She was actually in a psychiatric ward, and she's crazy, and she never was really writing a book at all. She never had a child.
She was dead the whole time.
That too. Well, good, because we're pretty much gonna save the other thing for last, right?
Right. You got it.
You got it. Well, I will talk about.
Yeah, Jimmy.
During my recovery, I didn't feel like doing much, and Isaac was. We decided. It's funny how sometimes you have these hive mind wavelength things where two people will think of the same thing at the same time but not tell each other. So I was thinking maybe it would be best if Isaac just spent the night at Derek and Brittany's, his uncle and
baby
aunts.
number 3.
It doesn't work that way. We had that discussion already. And I made a horrible joke. Which is what you guys are missing out on Discord if you don't join us. So I was thinking he should just stay there because he's all about climbing up on me and stuff, and I just knew it wasn't going to be good, and I was going to be in no shape I was just going to be annoyed, and I don't like to be short with him and stuff, but you can't help it when you're in pain. And then Brittany said, why doesn't he just stay with us? And I was like, oh my gosh, I was thinking the exact same thing. So he was gone, and we were able to sit around and do absolutely nothing. And I can't remember the last time we binge watched something during the day when, Isaac would normally be around. So we finally decided, all right, we watched Staircase. We've watched Making a Murderer. We watched something else I don't remember. It's time to watch Making a Murderer season 2 because that's been out for a while now, and
we're still not very far in that.
Okay, I won't get into it too much, but we did finish the entire thing.
Oh wow!
We watched 8 episodes. We were 2 episodes in beforehand, and all I can say is get ready for more feeling like, how the hell is this still happening? Like, how is this still going on?
I do feel that, but after like what they show you at the beginning too, I also sometimes I really question like how one-sided is this documentary? Like,
well, yeah, you do have to always wonder that,
because like if I have an opinion and I really want to an opinion I want to convey to my audience, I can really,
you can always pick and choose what you want.
Yeah, because after that first season, I was like, this police department's inept. This DA is a son of a bitch. This is bullshit. And then you look about it, and you think about it, and then you're like, yeah, but I'm really only getting one side of the story pretty thoroughly in this too. But I mean, I don't know.
How far are you into it? Just out of curiosity.
I think we're only in like the 3rd episode.
Okay, because the bulk of what it is about is this new attorney who comes in and tries to disprove everything. So
Steve Avery's new attorney.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
The woman.
Yeah. It gets really interesting. You're gonna feel like that all over again.
That is interesting.
That does sound good. And it was.
Took it up a notch.
It seems really hard to. I don't know if I guess that's the problem, because these documentaries, there's no answer. There's no closure. I will spoil that for you. If you're looking for closure at the end of this thing, there isn't any, as usual. So you're just kind of left to your own thoughts after the whole thing again until season 3 comes out. But it was good. I mean, it was compelling. It's just like, how much more can they uncover? From that point, it's interesting. So it was good. I mean, again, if you're looking for closure, you're not going to get it. So I don't know if anybody who's wants that should even start it, because it's just more. It's more of that. So.
Speaking of movies, how good do you think this Sonic movie is going to be?
Oh God, I saw the picture of Sonic, and I don't mind the fur. It is you. I think you had said that it looks like it's going the Pokemon route where it's slightly realistic.
Yeah,
that doesn't bother me.
What's the face going to look like?
Yeah. Well, I mean, his quads are like huge, which they kind of have to go that route though, right? Because you can't. We've always seen him as the cartoon Sonic, and you can't just put that in the physical. Your thighs and your ankles can't be the same size all the way down. You can't
do like Roger Rabbit, and he's going to be like a cartoon interacting with real people, because that just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I mean, I guess the fact that he's a walking, talking hedgehog also doesn't make any sense anyway.
We're basing it off from one picture, which honestly it should be the best picture, considering
that's what we do on the internet. This is all we do.
It's their own fault.
Image, and
they should know better to release one image. I
could have made a better Star Wars Episode 7 or Episode 8. I mean,
here's my 30-minute dissertation video on everything that's wrong with
Rian Johnson destroyed the franchise. Star Wars is terrible now.
Promise me if you ever make a video like that, you got to put lots of red circles. I've seen if you just circle random things in a scene in a movie you're going to talk about, 1 million clicks immediately. Because everyone wants to know, what is this arrow pointing at? What is this red circle? What Easter egg did I miss? And then that never comes up in the video.
Yeah.
Which is good. Speaking of good things, Jason, it's time for us to have a split opinion on something.
Nah.
Yeah. So I watched Ballad of Buster Scruggs for two reasons. One, because I thought it was interesting and I like the Coen brothers. And two,
I do too.
I knew you watched it, and then I was even more interested.
I kind of watched it.
I went, well, Jason, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna like it just to stick it to Jason, even if it sucks, just to piss him off.
I could feel Mike like looking down at me, sticking his nose up at me from the chat last week when I was discussing it.
You know, it's the Coen brothers, right? Actually, ooh. I'm gonna get on the internet. Just kidding. We love you. Just
Good
kidding.
thing I didn't have to buy a movie pass to watch this.
So the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Now, first thing, you're wrong about everything. I wouldn't classify the first one as a musical per se, but there is definitely music in it. I was expecting, like, you know how in musicals
there were a lot of musical numbers though.
There was a lot of singing. There was a whole bar room who was
I'm sorry, but if you're watching a film and there's a bunch of songs sung by a character, it's typically still called a musical.
Yeah.
Just because the whole thing isn't sung.
I was expecting it to be a worse musical, I guess.
No, I mean, I did not enjoy the music. I'm just saying there was a lot of music.
What I don't like, because when I hear musical, this is why. When I hear musical, I think of, and I'm probably going to get thrown on the yes, and when they talk, sing, I'm going to go over here and do this, you know, that type of thing. I can't stand that. Blech. And it isn't that, but there is definitely singing in it, and it's a bit silly. But here's the shame. Here's the thing. Stories 1 and 2 were okay. I didn't mind them. There's 6 stories in this whole thing. The first one is Ballad of Buster Scruggs. The rest of them have other names. Second one's a bank robbery with James Franco in it. That one was okay.
Yeah, that was okay. Third
one, I didn't really like at all. Third one, I think, could really turn people off because...
Remind me, what's the third one again?
That's the one where the guy is taking the quadriplegic kid, young man around, and that's the one with the Liam Neeson.
Yes. Yeah, that one just
surprise Liam Neeson.
Like that. Yeah, that one just took a long time to go anywhere.
The payoff isn't as good for how long it takes. I will agree. I mean, it's kind of a heavy-handed story about the death of meaningful entertainment versus like reality TV entertainment. I guess, spoiler alert, it's about this professor who spins stories and tells talks about the Declaration of Independence and all this other stuff. And then as you see the story go further and further, they get less and less people watching. They make less and less money until Liam Neeson's character, who takes care of the quadriplegic, he sees this chicken who does math and buys the chicken and dumps the guy in the river like a bag of cats. And that's the end. It's like the first fall of quality entertainment versus, you're
sure it's been canceled.
Yeah, exactly. So it took a long time to get there, I felt like, and it was kind of blah.
Yeah. Well, you got kind of tired of hearing that guy's speech over.
Yeah, there you do hear that a lot too.
And over.
But then after that is where all the good ones are. I feel like the fourth one was that's
the Prospector, right?
The Prospector, yes. I liked that one. It's kind of like the third one in that it takes a little bit to get going, but I felt like the scenery and what was actually happening was kind of more visually worthwhile than the other story, and it had a pretty good payoff. I liked that one because what happened I wasn't expecting. I thought it was going to end on a downer note, and it actually ends up on an upper note. And then the fifth one is probably the best one. That's about a girl who is on her way. I think she's on the Oregon Trail, but I can't tell, or at least part of it. They're on their way to Oregon, and her brother dies from a sickness, and she's left to deal with some stuff. And then some other stuff occurs that has to deal with actually like traveling. I would say it's probably the most Western of all of the stories, and I think it was probably my favorite. And then the last one,
is she on the Oregon Trail?
Oh, that's probably going to be made too. It'll be like Vampire Hunter Abraham Lincoln D. And then the last one was kind of weird. It's about a bunch of people and riding in a stagecoach on the way to a fort somewhere. That was pretty good too, but it was a little bit more weird. It was kind of a good closer because it kind of had this weird mystical element to it, but you were kind of left just like, what the hell was that about? So yeah, I liked them. I liked them all. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would because I'm not really a big Western fan anyways, but these were pretty decent. So yeah, I think you'll know it if you like it or not by the time you watch the first story. Because the first one is probably the weirdest out of all of them, with the singing and the dancing and the bipping and the bopping. And then lastly, besides what we're going to talk about, I watched Alien again. I've seen Alien quite a few times, but I just felt like watching it again.
Yeah.
I watched the
that's a great. I love the suspense of Alien, like. I really love what that does. Like how you're, like there's just that one critter somewhere. And then plus like the whole scene too, when the acid's slowly starting to drip through each level of the ship.
And it's like the level of, you don't often see, it's kind of like a creature movie, but a thriller movie put together.
Yeah.
You don't often see the killer broken down into steps like that, where like you see how dangerous they are through the different, parts of their life and everything. And
what is it? I can't remember because they carried this whole all the way through, and especially in like an Alien Isolation, they did a good job of recreating the scenery and the technology. But I can't remember how it's described. But I love the look of Alien because it's like, in a way it's like retrofuturism a little bit.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the futuristic aspect of it, but it also looks very much like a lot of some Star Wars does too. A lot very dingy, very dirty, very basic.
There's a lot of like weird leather padding, but it also kind of looks used and worn in and everything. It's
very
dingy.
70s. I mean,
yeah. In the technology sounds like floppy drives. Everything sounds like a floppy drive loading. And they did carry that into Isolation, which was really cool. But yeah, you don't usually get that, and it's like one of the first. I felt like one of the first haunted house in space movies that I'd seen. So pretty cool. And then Aliens comes along and it's completely different than that. It's an action movie.
It's because I made them. I was going
to say, I forgot it was James Cameron who directed that. I watched the special edition of both films. I can't say I noticed too much of a difference in the first film, Alien, versus the regular one. I think the only thing I really recognized was there was more of a fight with the android, whatever his name is.
Bishop.
No, Bishop's in the second one. Bishop's the android.
Oh, you're talking about the first one?
Yeah. Burke's in the second one too.
Oh gosh, it's gonna bother me because I was just thinking about it.
He's played by Ian Malcolm, I think is his name.
Ian Malcolm was in Jurassic Park. Oh, that was his character.
Never mind. What the hell am I talking about?
Ian Malcolm was Jeff Goldblum.
What just happened? I think they rewired some of my brains.
That's probably like the only part I think of the movie that suffers is that scene when you find out that he's an android. Ian Holm is the actor's
Ian
name.
something.
You're right, and he plays
Holm.
Ash.
Ash, thank you. The Milky Man, because all the androids have milk in them. They run on milk. And milk and jelly balls. So I think there was a little bit more with that and maybe that's probably why the director's cut had a little bit more, because it did seem like a weird turn. Of course, that's kind of a staple, especially when you start reading the comics. it's basically the corporation screws you over every time. It's almost like Shadowrun. It's just
why do people keep working for Weyland-Yutani? You know?
Exactly. So in the second one though, what I noticed was in the special edition there was like 15 extra minutes, and most of it was just adding in a little bit more of Ripley's daughter, who grew up without her because she was lost in space for like 55 years or something crazy like that. And then more with Newt, which is the girl that they find. Like that relationship has a little bit more to it. Like these scenes were more were already filmed and everything, and then the studio was like, this is an action movie, you need to shorten this shit down. It's already over 2 hours. We can't have that.
Yeah.
And so I actually kind of liked rewatching Aliens 2 a little bit more this time, even though I do like Alien and it's my favorite. They're so different that it's so weird to see like the same world but two completely different movies made out of them, where one feels like a monster thriller killer movie, the other one's like the action blockbuster that you wouldn't even expected, and it still gets good reviews. You know, it's still got like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. So all of the aliens, remember what I was telling you about the aliens, the first omnibus I was reading, and it was about some survivors and stuff. So that one was about Newt and Hicks, where the Hicks was the only Marine that survived. Yep. And then Bishop survived because he did he flew the plane thing. Ripley and then Newt survived as well. And
to be horrifically killed in Alien 3.
Isn't Alien 3 the one we don't talk about, or is that Resurrection?
No, it's Alien Resurrection.
That's
all I remember about Alien Resurrection is Winona Ryder's in it, and then Ellen Ripley comes back again as a clone. And then there's like that
that's
weird,
right.
And she like they like had that one xenomorph that they like.
She had xenomorph.
They spliced
blood.
her DNA, and so it's hers, and it's like that weird see-through critter thing, and they like suck it out through the hole. There's like a hole in the window, and it gets like sucked through the vacuum of space to this tiny hole. Yeah,
it's like an airplane toilet. You just get sucked.
It's
right
horrible
through the
hole.
looking. I think I was just in the mood for Aliens after reading the omnibuses because because they're all like aliens. They're nothing like, you know, they're not horror like the first one. They don't have that slow, dreadful feeling or dreading feeling that you have overcome you when you watch the first one, when you realize you're being hunted. But I will tell you, after all of this, and I finished the omnibus, so I'm off the Aliens kick now. Okay. All that to say, I'm off the Aliens kick. But I will tell you, for some weird reason, it has made me want to watch Predator again. So I have that in the list soon too, to watch as a movie.
You know, have you ever watched Predators? The one that from
with
a couple like
Adrian Brody.
Early 2000, yeah, did you ever watch that one?
Yeah, that one wasn't too bad.
I want to see that, and I do want to see the new one, even though I don't think I'm going to like it that much. But just because I
have that on the list to come to when it.
Just because I like the franchise, I've always loved the Predator creature.
I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna. That's what I did with Predators, and as far as an action movie goes, I thought it was fine. I thought it was pretty decent. So I would say it's worth a watch. It's not complete garbage like some of these turn out to be. Should we talk about Smash Ultimate?
Yeah, I'm also talking about Smash a little bit. I don't want to go too long in the tooth on it because
we'll be talking about it next week.
We'll be talking about it forever. So yeah, Smash obviously came out Friday. It's been the only game I've played since then. I've played it with the GameCube. I got the whole, the USB GameCube adapter nonsense for my Switch, which just made a mess of cables. And I think it's tough because first it took me forever to get used to playing with this GameCube controller. Then when I tried to jump back to my Pro controller the next day, when I was playing at work, couldn't remember how to use my Pro controller again. I think I've gone back and forth enough. There's an initial little
you have both
training
muscle
period.
Memories
where you kind of get reacquainted. But because I mean the button layouts are a little bit different, especially with the GameCube. You know, you got the large A button, you got the weird X and Y, and it's all placement. But I think there's pros and cons to each. I think the shoulder buttons are nicer to use on the Pro controller because they're not. You know, the GameCube had these weird,
squishy, right?
Yeah, these had like the, you know, they're analog.
Ooh,
so there's like
yeah.
a good.
There's
and
a
then
lot of
there's
travel.
also there's also the.
Oh.
There too. So you can actually. So I can't, you know, and then the Z button is really spongy. It's better now, but I don't like it. So I like the shoulder buttons better on the Pro, but I love the sticks on this. The C stick, I like those, and I like the face buttons a little bit better. But these are still, it's a new controller, so these the X and Y buttons are really sensitive, so it's really hard to short hop. But luckily, you know, Smash Ultimate, if you hit like jump and attack button at the same time, you'll do a short attack anyway. So you kind of see, look, it's like all this cable now, it's all over me. It's just a mess.
You shouldn't
so
have done
I'm really going to get that G-Bros wireless adapter so I can free up 2 USB ports on my Switch again, and then dangle up this cable so it's not. And then that way, like if I want to play with my my GameCube controller at work, it's an option. But enough about that.
Sorry,
I mean,
your Switch. I just want to say you got dangles, dangling, and donglings and danglings. You got the LAN connector. You got the freaking wireless.
I don't joke, man. The wire, the cable,
the audio thing
for my PC is a mess with all this crap I got going on. But that's what I like to have. You know, that's what happens when you want to stream. I guess you know you got to have all this extra crap. I've only played online matches. I don't even know how many characters unlocked now. I think earlier today I just unlocked. For whatever reason, I've lost to Wario 2 or 3 times because his stage is so random that you have to fight him in to unlock it. But I just unlocked. Speaking of aliens, I just unlocked
Ridley.
What's the
Ripley?
Yeah, Ridley.
Just
unlocked Ridley. So.
That's
but I've only played online. I haven't even booted up World of Light. I've played classic mode 3 times.
That's funny because I can almost only exclusively talk about World of Light. So
just so I can only play Falco. I played classic mode to unlock Falco, and then I've only played online. The global smash power, that's how they rank people, is kind of interesting. So I think that whole process or system was developed during Brawl. And so the way that works is like, you know, I must figure in you get it by winning and losing, and it's rated against, you know, if you beat someone with a higher power than you move up while they lose power. And essentially, so like, let's say I'll throw out a number because I have a couple of characters that I have a character that's at 903,486 global smash power. That means that there's 902,000 blah 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 people below that I'm ranked higher. Yeah, that I'm ranked higher in. So it's a moving target. So the other day,
and the amount will always change. There's no ceiling.
Amounts always change, yeah, because more people are always going to play, so that number's always going to. There's always going to be more people. When this happened Saturday night after we recorded Nintendo Shack, I was playing just for kicks, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, I won 9 out of 10 matches as Captain Falcon, and then all of a sudden, like I got kicked back to the lobby when I was doing rematch. I was like, what? And then all of a sudden the announcer's like, Elite Smash. I was like, oh, what? So I unlocked Elite Smash. I was like, oh shit, because I didn't. That was my question. How long is it going to take me to get to that? And it's only at a per character basis, because all your characters, your Smash powers, you have an overall, but all your characters' Smash powers is graded individually. So I only could play as Captain Falcon if I wanted to do it. And I was like, well, I don't want to have to play super try hard right now, and I didn't play him, so I hadn't played Captain Falcon in matchmaking since Saturday night. And I dropped back out of matchmaking, I think, yesterday. So since I hadn't played, I had deranked because other people past me had pushed me back out. So I'm no longer in Elite Smash. And now I'm like, most of my characters are approaching 1 million. So that's the thing. It's always going to be a moving target to maintain that level. So that's all I'm playing. I think I've had 2 or 3 matches that have really been laggy, and I've played over 100.
Jeez.
Our
experiences there have been really different.
Yeah, I know that's funny because even when I was playing at Wi-Fi, when I was playing at work, the only laggy match I had today was when I was playing with you.
Yeah, and that
everything
was bad.
else. So that's what's really strange. But I will say I know people are complaining about how the matchmaking works, and it is kind of stupid how you have to set your preferred rules, and there's still no guarantee that if you're going to get the type of match you want. Sometimes I've gotten into a free-for-all, 4-person free-for-all with items, and the only thing that matched up was the stock. So, but for the most part, I usually get, I don't mind playing. Well, I wouldn't mind playing 2v2s more often, but usually I play 1v1s.
Please understand, we cannot.
No Johns. but I play, I've played pretty much 1v1s exclusively on this, and I've played well over. I've probably played 150 matches by now. So, I love it. I like it. I like Smash. That's no surprise. Just having fun with it, and I think it'll be cool to try to keep other characters leveled up. What's really interesting is because I haven't played with Fox in forever. Every other characters I haven't played with, are in the 900Ks. Fox is at like 500K. He's
wow.
half the ranking of everyone else, and I don't know why. I think it's because he was the first character I ever played with, and so I had won and lost a lot of matches. And then as soon as I unlocked other characters, I stopped playing as him.
Well, and other characters you haven't played as start at half of your total team global GSP.
No, they're all like 900.
Are they really? Mine are about half of what my highest one is.
Yeah, mine are at like 900 stuff. Like Inkling right now is my highest, just because I don't know why. Because I won a couple of matches and then I haven't played it as that character, but Inkling is like 980 something thousand, and that's my highest. And because I just don't have all the same losses. Really weird system.
Huh?
It's really weird. But yeah, I love the game. It's been fun, and let's get some of your World of Light impressions. Because I here's the thing. I would think, okay, I'm at work, I should probably play the single player stuff. And then I boot up the game and I just see that menu and online. I'm like, nope, got to do it. So even playing tabletop, I mean,
it does play handheld really well, actually. It does
play, yeah. Like playing Brawl Out handheld and tabletop wasn't a good experience. The controls were loose. It wasn't tight. So just to say how much better a game like Sakurai can put together that just controls well and feels good to play like that. Now, for a four-person free fall, a little tougher, especially when you get a lot of stuff going on the screen. It's really easy to lose yourself. But
every once in a while, the camera will be a big old bitch too. I've noticed, not very often, but sometimes it'll focus in the middle of a mat. Like if it goes from 4 to 2 fighters, and it'll focus in the middle of the arena, even though the 2 fighters are up in the left corner. Sometimes it doesn't want to pull itself over to re-centralize the characters, and it gets a little annoying when you're trying to jump around up there and you can't really see what you're doing until the camera widens back out a little bit. I don't know. There's the other thing that's really been bothering me in World of Light is when the countdown starts and then it goes go. There's this huge ass thing, letters that say go on the screen, and the damn computer is already halfway to you by the time they disappear. For blood. Yeah, by the time they disappear. And so you're already at a disadvantage. Half the time it doesn't really matter. But there are times when I've wandered forward behind this go screen or this go text, and I'm already gotten hit because of that. So I've learned to kind of just stay put, because it's on there for just a split second too long. So World of Light is the whole spirits mode, basically. You're on this board. There's all these little points that you have fights that are set up with these spirits. And the spirits are just attached to fighters, all of the regular fighters. They're just cards that augment the game somehow. It's not even really that big of a difference. I kind of get annoyed by how often you have to change out your cards, because there's a power level to them. But then there's also effects that happen because of having certain cards equipped. And then there's a whole rock, paper, scissors, one's better than the other type deal.
Yeah.
I don't really pay attention to any of that. I just press the button that auto fills all that in.
Yeah.
Gives you suggestions.
That's probably what I would do too. Just I don't want to mess with it.
The only reason why I'm doing it is because I feel like it's a decent way for me to unlock characters. And from that perspective, you can see them on the board, so at least you can work your way towards them. And I've probably unlocked about 5 characters that way, or 6. And then maybe 4 or 5 from just playing the game. So you get you'll back out of something and then it'll say a new challenger approaches, and then you fight them to get them as well. The World of Light stuff is fine. It gives you something to do, but it's not really that big of a draw for me, especially because it's kind of just training me to fight against the computer, which doesn't really help me at all, because I'm not going to get much better if I just keep fighting the computer over and over. I mean, I've won in stupid ways. I've kicked them off and then they can't get back up and then they just die.
I mean, the one thing I was thinking today, in this match I played earlier, And the best piece of advice I can give you is because it's one thing like having familiarity with your character and being competent with your character's moveset, because then you can kind of know what you're doing. Like there's people that learn what percentages and what moves will be a kill confirm at what percentages and what
Sure.
moves you can combo at certain percentages, because as a character takes percentage damage, they're going to fly farther for attacks, they're going to move, so you're not going to stay, they won't you won't be able to juggle them the same way, or you won't be able to, because they're going to move higher up. Moves just won't chain together the same way. Some of that stuff I know, but I don't memorize that. But the biggest thing you can learn, you'll be able to do is pattern recognition and what your opponent's doing. Because especially I find online, you'll find people that have 2 or 3 moves. That's what they really rely on as a crutch. And especially if it's a gimmicky move. And then once you find out what it is, you might lose to them the first time, but once you just learn it, then you can really exploit it. And then it's all about playing the mind game with them, that trying to bait them to do it and then to counter it. So like the biggest thing in Smash is just your ability to read your opponent and then learn what your opponent's doing and then countering what they're doing.
Yeah. And there are some, you and I fought a little bit, and it's tough to say because it was hard for me to control myself. Not the first time we played. That was great. This time we played today, though, it was really laggy and I could barely control myself. So once I get that figured out, I think I'll be okay. But unfortunately,
fighting with your connection is frustrating and doesn't help anything. So.
Yeah, and I got to see what's going on there. But I will say overall, it didn't have my attention as much at first, and then I started playing it more and more and more. And then suddenly it was like the only thing I ended up playing at the end of the night. But on Friday I played like 10 minutes of it. The next day I played like a half hour. Suddenly I'm playing 2 hours, Yeah. So it does get like, especially the more characters you unlock, that helps too. But it does.
How do you feel about the unlock? Because I've seen some debates spring up online at people like
the people
not enjoying that or being frustrated with the unlock system.
The people who are frustrated with the unlock system are the ones who just want to play with a certain couple of characters, I think, and they're not unlocked yet. I don't have that, so I don't care. Like, I'm not good with anybody, so I'm not really upset. There are characters I want. Like, I want Little Mac.
Cloud.
Yeah, Cloud, Little Mac, Simon Belmont. So there are people that I would really like, but I'm not going to be any better with them than anybody else. So I really don't care. And honestly, I like being challenged to try somebody new because I might end up liking them, and then I'll have another card in my deck, so to speak.
Yep. So
I don't
you
really
like
care.
once you unlock someone, you're like, oh, I'm going to try them, and it kind of gives you
Bowser
a reason to.
I probably will never use Bowser online competitively because he's slow as balls. But as far
he's slow, but he hits so hard.
Yes, he has a lot of launches.
You have to play defensively and play the spacing game, because I got wrecked by a Bowser just because he was able to space out my attacks and he knew just how far away to be, and then and I probably got too aggressive and he just would drop those big boots on my face. And
the drop kick is pretty rough.
The drop kick's brutal.
Yeah, he has strong attacks, and that helps with the CPU stuff because they're too stupid. So that was like, oh, I'll just use him to clear out all these easy ass missions on World of Light. But I wouldn't know that if I never unlocked him and had 8 characters to choose from instead of
I mean, I was slightly. I wouldn't say I was frustrated, but like when I first started the game, okay, I have to pick one of these 8 characters, and like, well, Fox is the only one I have some familiarity with, so I just pretty much played Fox until I unlocked Captain Falcon, and then once I had Captain Falcon, I looked and okay, what's the quickest way I can get to Falco, and then right there I had 3 characters because I do like to play Fox. There's my 3 characters I wanted to play: Fox, Falco, and Falcon. So, well, God, they're all Fs. Oh, jeez. So, and then I was like, then I'm like, fine, because I got my 3 characters I can fall back on, and then I don't care. I mean, I guess it'd be great if I had the whole gang, but it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't just on, like, because the way I play, it's just set to a 10-minute timer, and then, you do a Smash battle, and then you get the, new challenger. I wish it was different events triggered the encounters.
I would have liked to see an in-game currency system where you just earn, like, the gold, and then you buy with the in-game money whoever you wanted. That I could see as being a decent trade-off, But then you got to grind to get money anyway, and who knows how well that would have been implemented. So there's really no good answer, I feel like.
Yeah. Or what if you got to pick like X number of you got to actually handpick X number of unlocks, and then after that you had to like
unlock the rest. I don't know.
Yeah,
that could.
I can get that too. If you wanted to actually, if there's a character you want to play as and you can, you had like that's like the last character you get in the game. That'd be kind of frustrating. But
I can definitely see both sides, but it's just easier to give Donnie crap, and it's more fun that way anyway. So I just because he was the one that I had talked to about it the most, or had seen him talking about it in Nintendo Shack, and.
Yeah, Donnie's been pretty vocal with his view. He's gotten into some heated conversations I saw on Twitter today about it.
But overall, I don't really.
Yeah,
I have no.
My opinion's not very valid on the situation because I just don't care, and I don't even play any of the modes. I just play online.
Yeah, I do agree with some. I do agree with some people. There's not really a lot to do here. There's like not really a story mode, so to speak. No. I would say like Mortal Kombat has more to do in it than this if you're just looking for like a single player experience. It's not necessarily what this game is about. It's kind of like a mix of a fighting game and Mario Party. You know what I mean? So it's not like, you should be looking for that in this game. The replay value is in playing it online. So, but yeah, overall, I'm having a good time with it. So
good. That's all that matters, man.
Damn.
You want we'll save more Smash talk for upcoming episodes. Let's do some community grab bag and wrap up the show. Okay. Dan Anthony, man on the street. He gets us the road trip from CBS Philadelphia. 2 nuns are accused of embezzling $500,000 from a Catholic school to gamble in Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, he follows up. What do you think they played? Blackjack? Purely slot machines?
I'm gonna play the slots.
So he has an article here at 3BS. Let's see. 2 longtime nuns allegedly embezzled as much as $500,000 in tuition, fees and donations, perhaps spending some of the money on trips and gambling at casinos while telling parents that the school was operating on a shoestring budget. Looks like it happened for at least 10 years. I think they played craps. That's my guess. Lots of craps.
I'm gonna say they played the roulette wheel. Because I don't know how the hell that thing works. Like, I know you're betting, right? Like, there's always, like, odds and evens, but then there's, like, 16-5 and all this other weird crap on there. And I just like to imagine they know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
It better not have been something so boring as blackjack.
Right. It sounds like they did give some of the stolen money back, but the rest was used for their personal gain. Kept up the charade, telling parents that the school was operating on a tight budget, all while using the embezzled funds for lavish vacations and trips to the casino. Here's the real ringer.
Oh yes, I saw.
The report claims that the archdiocese and the church are not pursuing criminal charges because afterwards the nuns said they were sorry. So
unbelievable.
God forgives, and so will they.
Well, I mean, if you're religious, they're gonna get what's coming to them in the afterlife anyway. So
yeah.
I guess why, but that's no, they should. Does it say how old they were? I didn't see.
No, but
I guess it kind of depends. Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess it depends on how old they are too.
Dan, I need to know, how do you always get this stuff on Twitter? Do you just follow a bunch, or like, is there some Twitter handle that you follow specifically that's like weird news, and it just because you always got them, man. You always got them.
How can you? I just don't understand how you could tell people like.
Oh, we're on the shoestring budget.
Yeah.
We really need your help. Yeah, it's bad. Well, there's shitty people
assholes.
Out there. Yeah. There's just shitty people out there.
Speaking of which, we got a Patreon account.
Yeah. That's going to do it for the week in this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Next week is going to be the full episode of the year, and we're going to do a game that made us to round out the year. So our final talk on that.
We're going to live stream Jason chugging eggnog.
That's right. And we got the giveaway. So it's still, I mean, I've said it the past couple weeks. This is your last chance to enter. We're going to give away a physical game of your choice, standard edition. So make sure to enter if you haven't.
I want a free game.
I mean, you can't play. You can't win if you don't play, right? And
play
so, hey, let's say thank you to all of our patrons, but special thanks to our arbiters of awesomeness, Kevin Austin, Kyle Heyman, Tyler Rowland, Tom Servo, Matt Knight, and our executors of excellence, Josh Barboni, Dan Anthony, Evan Cal, Sierra Renee, and Devin Tyus. Thank you guys all. If you want to join the Flux Legion, please check out patreon.com/Fluxtaposed for great ways how you can support this little podcast and maybe get some cool stuff along the way, because it's all going to keep going in 2019, baby. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's it for the show this week. Thank you as always for watching, listening. Come join us in Discord again as always. Share the show with a friend. Give us an iTunes review. And goodbye. We'll see you next time. We'll save you a seat even.
Fight me and Smash. You'll probably win.
Fight me. Don't at me, bro.